When the world speeds up, your decision window shrinks. That's not philosophy, it's an operational problem. A few years ago, you could notice a trend, think about it for days, maybe weeks, then decide what to do. Today, a trend can go from nobody cares to everybody's obsessed and back to please stop before you finish a meeting. And AI is accelerating that cycle even more. So the real question isn't how do I find trends? The real question is how do I turn trends into decisions fast without drowning in noise, breaking rules, or burning money? This is what I've been building a personal trend OS, not a hype machine, not a prediction oracle, a practical loop. Signal meaning action feedback. And I'll walk you through the exact logic behind it, what I collect, why I collect it, how I process it, and what upgrades turn it from cool automation into something that actually makes you faster and smarter. First, let's talk about the problem with trends. Most people treat trends like a slot machine. They see a spike, they panic, they chase it, and 2 weeks later they're embarrassed. It's like running after the ice cream truck, except the truck is moving at 200 kilometers per hour and it's throwing confetti made of your time. I don't want trends to control me. I want trends to inform me. That's why I started with the obvious sources. Google Trends and YouTube trending by country. It's the fastest way to understand what different societies are paying attention to right now. But doing it manually doesn't scale. Manual trend monitoring is just doom scrolling with better branding. So I automated it. I built a private bot that pulls YouTube trending lists for specific countries I care about, then sends me curated updates through Telegram. Telegram isn't the place for secrets. And I don't use it that way, but it is insanely good for speed, filtering, and quick delivery. And yes, I used N8N for orchestration. I started with PHP plus MySQL because that's familiar and fast to prototype. Then moved into Docker plus Postgres plus N8N because it's cleaner, easier to iterate, and easier to extend. I even ran it on a cheap server I was planning to shut down. $5 a month for a sandbox beats wasting 5 hours manually scanning feeds and pretending it's research. Now, here's the part most people skip. Collecting data is not the same as getting value. A list of trending videos or keywords is not insight, it's raw material. So, the second layer I built was a Google Trends daily keyword intake. The goal wasn't look at a list of words. The goal was to feed those words into a system that can answer the only question that matters. What should I do next? To collect the data, I used browser automation to trigger the export and download the CSV, then processed the CSV as structured data. But before someone clips this and screams scraping, let's be responsible here. There's a difference between building personal automation at low frequency to reduce manual work and hammering a service with automated access, bypassing protections, or ignoring platform rules. Different platforms have different terms, and they can change. In general, automated collection can be a gray zone, depending on how it's done. If you're going to automate anything like this, treat it like an adult. Respect rate limits. Keep frequency low. Cache results so you're not re-downloading the same thing. Don't bypass CAPTCHAs or protective measures. Prefer official APIs or permitted export methods where possible, and assume that the platform can block you if you push it. In my case, the system is built for personal monitoring and learning, not for reselling someone else's data, not for high frequency extraction, and not for circumventing access controls. If you're planning to publish a tutorial about your setup, that matters even more. You don't want to teach how to break rules. You want to teach how to build a trend decision loop responsibly. Now back to the pipeline. Once I get the daily Google Trends keywords, I chunk them because large lists don't fit nicely into a single AI request. Then I send them for interpretation, not for vague analysis, but for structured outputs. This is important. Prompts get stale. The model changes, the world changes, your needs change. What stays stable is the output contract. So instead of tell me what you think, I want the AI to always return something like top themes clusters, not just keywords. Why each theme might matter right now. A simple action you can do in 30 minutes. 2 micro product or micro tool ideas. 3 content angles for YouTube or social. A risk note, how this trend wastes time or money. Because analysis without action is entertainment. I'm building a machine for decisions. The third system I added was SEC filings monitoring by ticker and report type. The reason is speed. Filings can be boring, but they're a clean signal. When something changes materially, it often shows up there. The first version of my idea was simple. Get the link fast copy text sent to AI. But the real value isn't summarizing a filing. The real value is comparing it. What changed versus last quarter? What's new in guidance? What did they quietly remove? What language shifted from confident to cautious? That's where AI becomes useful. Not as a finance guru, but as a change detector and an explanation engine. And here's a key point: just because you can automate a pipeline doesn't mean you should automate the money. I've done enough experiments in crypto and automated strategies to learn a painful lesson. Automation is not intelligence, automation is speed. If you automate the wrong logic, you just lose faster. So in this trend OS, automation is for monitoring and decision support, not for auto spending, auto trading, or auto anything that can quietly drain your wallet. The fourth system is prediction markets monitoring. Even if you never place a bet, prediction markets are useful as a real-time map of what people believe is likely. They capture uncertainty in a way headlines don't, but tracking everything is messy. So I did something pragmatic. I watch a few consistently successful traders and monitor what events they enter and exit. This is not copy trading. Copy trading is how you learn regret. Some people can enter early, attract attention, then exit quickly while late followers get stuck. So I treat it like a signal, not a command. If multiple strong traders concentrate on a topic, it's a clue. Something is moving, a narrative is forming, a deadline is approaching. That becomes another input into the loop. And finally, I used to rely on Upwork RSS alerts until RSS support disappeared. That's annoying, but it's also a reminder that platforms change their interfaces constantly. If your system depends on one fragile method, it will eventually break. So the upgrade is to design the system around adaptability. Use saved searches, email parsing, permitted APIs, or controlled automation, and keep the core logic independent of the source. Now let's talk about the upgrades that turn this from cool into dangerously useful. Upgrade 1: scoring. If your bot sends you everything, it's not a bot. It's a spam generator you built yourself. So each trend needs a score, not a complex academic score. A simple, ruthless score that helps decisions. Velocity, how fast it's rising. Spread, how many sources or countries repeat it. Shelf life, meme dust or multi-week wave. Fit, relevance to your goals. Effort to test, how quickly you can validate it. Then your bot sends top 5 with reasons, not a fire hose of noise. Upgrade 2: clustering and deduplication. Trends show up in different languages, spellings, slang, and titles. If you treat them as separate, you think there are many trends, but it's often one trend wearing 5 masks. So cluster related keywords into a theme, pick a human readable title, attach variants underneath. Your brain wants themes, not lists. Upgrade 3: action packs. This is where the trend OS becomes real. For each theme, the bot should generate a small do this next package, one YouTube hook, one short post idea, one micro tool idea, one cheap experiment, one risk note. Optional, generate a thumbnail concept or a simple image prompt, but always with a manual review step before posting. Quick pause. If you like this kind of practical builder content, hit like and subscribe. I'm not trying to guilt trip you. I'm just making a deal with the algorithm. More content for people who build things, not just consume them. Now, a quick context drop about what I'm doing overall, because it explains why this Trend OS exists. My focus is collecting and building small, real online assets, tiny tools, microservices, bots, small SaaS experiments. The goal is to learn how to find them, buy them, assemble them, launch them, then operate, automate, and scale them without going bankrupt in the process. That's why I don't chase trends for vibes. I chase trends for leverage. Can this become a small tool that solves a real problem? Can I validate it fast? Can I run it with low maintenance? Can it become a repeatable system instead of a one time spike? Back to upgrades. Upgrade 4: calmer notifications. A trend bot that screams all day becomes invisible. You will mute it. So make it calm. Daily digest at a fixed time. Breaking alerts only when score crosses a threshold. Quiet hours. Separate channels for must see versus interesting versus archive. The bot should protect your attention, not hijack it. Upgrade 5, decision log and outcomes. This is the secret weapon. Track what you did with each trend. Trend underscore action underscore taken time underscore spent result. Even did nothing is a result. After a month, you'll see which sources matter, which topics are dead ends, and which signals repeatedly turn into useful actions. You stop being reactive and start being data driven about your own attention. Upgrade 6, multi source watchtowers. Google and YouTube are huge, but they aren't the whole world. Add a few early signal sources relevant to your goals: tech communities, product launches, developer ecosystems, niche forums. But be selective. More sources without scoring just creates more noise. Upgrade 7, cost and safety controls. AI calls cost money, servers cost money, your time costs money. So build a budget controller. Daily cap on AI calls. Caching by trend underscore id. Cheap pass for low score. Deep pass for high score. Stop processing when ROI is low. And again, keep it respectful. Avoid aggressive automation patterns. Avoid bypassing protections. And prefer permitted interfaces. If a platform blocks you, don't fight it. That's the moment to redesign the approach. So that's the real story. A trend OS is not about being first. It's about being consistent. It's not about predicting the future. It's about reducing your time to decision. It's not about extracting everything. It's about extracting only what you can act on. And when AI speeds everything up, the people who win aren't the ones who consume more. They're the ones who build better loops. Now I'll end with a question for you. If you had a trend OS like this, what would you want it to deliver every morning? A clean top 5 list of themes, a set of ready to run experiments, or a content pack you can publish the same day? And what source do you trust most for signals in your niche?